It is amazing how quickly a beautiful day can be overcome by a violent storm. After my car was severely damaged by hail in a hailstorm, I found myself pulling up Doppler radar in the early afternoons to check for storms. One Friday, we had invited all our prospects over for lunch. We sat out a couple of 10 by 10 canopies to grill out. Everything was going well until my wife called me to tell me that there was a violent storm approaching. I ran out of my office to pull down the tents and park the prospects' vehicles in the warehouse in case of hail. When I was doing it, it was still beautiful on the outside, but I barely got finished before the storm hit. Emotions are a little bit like that spring storm. Everything seems fine, but before you know it, you've been sucked into another person's emotions. Their facial expression, demeanor, tone, and subject matter just pulls you in. Before it's all over, you ask yourself, what just happened? We get caught up in the emotions of others. One of the hottest things on TV right now is American Idol. One reason for its popularity is the conflict between the judges. The tension stems from how each judge thinks differently. For example, Simon normally says something direct to each contestant. Paula, on the other hand, attempts to soften her criticism with kindness. The judges get upset with each other based upon their individual communication and thinking styles. The result is big ratings. The truth is there is negative and positive aspects to every situation in person. We differ on how we process this information. If we don't purposely fill our minds with healthy thoughts, we'll eventually gravitate into a negative mindset. A negative thought pattern can eventually lead to destructive behavior. If you say, for example, you're a salesman. If I go to our prospect, they won't listen. Therefore, you don't go, and then you don't make any sales. If you practice this thought pattern long enough, you might eventually lose your job. On the other hand, it takes effort to construct a positive mindset. The way you do this is by replacing pessimistic thoughts, one thought at a time, with a positive thought. This is done one thought at a time. Say and keep saying out loud, if I go to a prospect, I might make a sale. Eventually, you should begin to think differently about going to prospects and act accordingly. When you don't purposely fill your mind with good thoughts, you will eventually be overcome with bad thoughts. Here are some ways that I've discovered to prepare for emotional storms. First, get up early. Take the time to read healthy material before you start each day. Next, do mental checkups. Monitor your thoughts, your mood, and your conversations throughout the entire day. Next, smile. When you approach someone, it's amazing how something as simple as a smile can open doors. It's extremely difficult to be rude to another person who's smiling at you. I think that smiling even works while talking over the phone. It just comes through your voice. Of course, if there's a problem, express concern, but overall I say smile. Be extremely friendly with other people. When you're proactively being friendly, it makes other people really uncomfortable to be rude to you. Stay calm. When someone is angry and raising their voice at you, you can feel your emotions matching theirs. By staying calm and quietly responding, the other person will eventually calm down to your emotional level. Look away. Normally it's better to look at the other speaker. However, a lot of anger is shown through facial expressions. If someone is losing control, look away. Finally, paraphrase back. Calmly repeat back to the other person what they're saying. Paraphrasing simply means that you understand them and does not mean you agree.